Hello and welcome back to Ben and Mike's Film Room, and we just saw Marvel's The Avengers.
Is that the full title?
Technically, yes. That's what showed up during the movie. That's what the title showed.
I mean, I know Marvel is on all the things. And I know, I'm just, now that Captain America has a title, has subtitles, is it...
No, because there was this movie in the 60s called The Avengers, and with a spy team.
Oh.
It's like that.
So they're really doing some legal protection thing.
Yeah, that's why the real Ghostbusters were called the real Ghostbusters, and because in the 70s there was a show called The Ghostbuster with a giant gorilla and as one of their ghost people.
Well, that needs some unpacking, but
I don't think
later.
Yeah.
I'm very curious on that. I will write a note. So, Marvel's
The Avengers.
The Avengers. It's been... I probably watched it when it came... It was in theaters. Had a great time. Watched it when it came out on DVD or Blu-ray right after. Wasn't as good of a time. I had more fun now than then. And I don't know why.
Well, I get that, because... How dare you?
Sorry.
He just broke my heater.
Only a little.
Yes.
The heater's small. That's what I'm saying.
Yes.
I'm mocking its size now that I broke it.
Quit making that face, you turd.
It's a face of unapologetic heater breaking.
Okay, this is a dumb bit. Yeah, I remember seeing it I remember our dad showing us the trailer, when Super Bowl came out. And so I'm fairly certain I saw it in theaters. And I remember, when the DVD came out, this is going to go away really fast. So I hid one of the Avengers DVDs behind some other Disney movies or something.
That tradition continues in our family to this day. My daughter asked just a few days ago, what if we hide the toy and come back for it later?
Yeah, that's what I do. That's what I used to do with Ben 10 toys. I always put it underneath the racks.
Oh, in the aisles, the actual rows of stuff.
On the floor underneath the aisles. But yeah, so yeah, this would also this broke the opening box office record at the time. I think it made around $200 million opening weekend, give or take.
It's got to have made. We'll look that up later. But
yeah,
so
I know.
It definitely it broke the records at that time.
Yeah. So, yeah, brief.
And that was for several years it held that record, right?
Yeah, for 3 years.
Movies are just getting crazier and crazier.
Yeah, I told this to my brother during the movie that after this, the record was then beat by Jurassic World.
Blech.
Which is okay.
Well, it was kind of a reboot to the Jurassic Park universe.
We just wanted to see dinosaurs
again. But it wasn't.
Again. We just wanted dinosaurs again. This seems to be the only movie series allowed to make dinosaurs.
Well, if you think about it, it did have a huge impact on our dinosaur thought. But anyway,
it's good.
Had a lot of build-up, and so it had a really good first weekend.
Yeah, but the thing is, none of the other MCU films, not even the first Iron Man, came even close to the amount of money this movie made.
Oh, no way. How could it? So my question is, are people not watching those movies and just jumping in at Avengers?
Well, at this point, some people might skip Captain Marvel and just go straight into Endgame. If you know that these movies have an order, I think you're going to see them all.
I think by the time you get to the second Avengers, everyone kind of gets the pacing that there's a bunch of movies, and as a whole, they matter.
Yeah.
Not any particular order.
It's not
it's a per phase movie, really.
A brief summary is that Loki comes down to take the chase the Tesseract and open this army owned by who knows. No one knows who this army is owned by. Loki, probably.
It's not. It's the weird two-thumbed man.
Yes, the two-thumbed man.
With the blood mouth.
Yeah, he needs a dentist.
That's really the main part of the show, is the need of this guy. The others or something?
No, he's called... We had the subtitles on while we watched, one of the last scenes, where we noticed, he's called the Other, which is like, okay, probably someone from the comics.
Oh, certainly.
Well, the thing is, not in every character in this movie isn't from the comics. Phil Coulson isn't from the comics.
That's true. Well, he's been our connecting piece.
Yes, he's been the glue. But yeah, so
Phil the Glue Coulson.
yes, son of Cole.
Which was a great moment in Thor.
Yes. So, yeah, Loki comes down and brainwashes everyone, including Hawkeye, for the majority of the film. Turns Dr. Selvig into a disgusting sausage man.
Yeah, being mind controlled also makes you forget about your daily maintenance. No moisturizers.
No shaving.
No shaving, definitely. No blinking. All those things are required.
He literally looks like the most disgusting homeless man you've seen.
So Loki comes down, he's taken over all these minds with the goal of taking over the Earth.
Yes. I think someone might have suggested, hey, you can do that. You can have Earth after I'm done with it. Or something like that.
I mean, the whole thing, he seemed like to willy-nilly choose Earth.
Well,
Because-
actually, I think... Well, eventually... Okay, this is going really more into speculation.
It's true. I mean,
This isn't a summary anymore.
That's very true. It's nowhere near summaries.
Yeah, we try. We have an outline laid out. We are not gonna go anything by it.
That makes me sad.
Okay. But yeah. So, well, the thing is, Earth has 2 Infinity Stones.
Well, yeah, but...
And later in Infinity War, he's like, there are two stones on Earth. And he's like, okay, you know this, obviously. And there's the theory.
True.
There's a lot of stuff I want to talk about with it. I haven't seen Infinity War in a couple months.
It's true.
So I'm really excited to get to that movie eventually. Because, like, oh, man.
I mean, okay, so...
But
and
this-
we'll talk about it in a second,
But yeah, this is the first movie to do anything like this, really.
It's true. It really...
Unless you want to get finicky and say, oh, the Universal monsters back in the 40s, blah. So,
That's kind of stretching it, in my opinion.
well, I mean, Frankenstein and Dracula meet up.
The real point of the Avengers movies, there's 2 main phases, I think. There's an assembly phase, assemble the Avengers,
And then the battle.
and then the battle, yes. So in the assembly phase, we get on the super cool plane boat, and we...
Helicopter boat, Ben.
And we hit our friends in the head so hard that their mind control goes away, and we get into arguments and also fix a plane. It's great fun.
Yes, great fun.
And we hack the mainframe. He says mainframe. It's always...
Does he?
He does. I am needlessly picky.
Did
That
they-
goes into the nitpick section.
Did they play?
Needlessly picky about
But
it.
did they play Galaga?
That man is playing Galaga.
Still.
No one would know.
Still,
Good times.
Michael Cera. He's playing. He's playing Galaga.
So, this assembly happens. We have all the heroes. Finally, everybody's here.
I can't believe you-
Thor's looking better than before.
I can't
Captain
believe-
America has a suit that's less dumb.
Let
It's
me
still
quip.
dumb.
Let
Oh,
me-
quip.
I can't believe you coughed, Ben. I can't believe you didn't edit that out.
I agree. I totally should. And it would be very reasonable to do that thing. As a matter of fact, this one we might do some editing. We might even edit out the part where we're talking about editing.
I really hope we don't.
I could say anything I want. I could even add a bleep. And I could say whatever I want.
Oh yeah, then we can say words.
Well, we could pretend to say which is also fun.
Okay.
Anyway.
Yes.
So, the movie, there's the big fight. It goes well. Earth is saved.
For
That's
now.
all.
Until it isn't. Until
of course.
Until Thanos. Oh, I'm sorry. If you haven't seen, if the $2 billion worth of you haven't seen Infinity War, go
Maybe
watch
we'll-
it.
I think that's something we should bleep out, is the spoilers. We'll just bleep all spoilers. That'd be hard. That would be way too hard for me to
Yeah,
edit.
it's too
that
much,
stuff.
Ben.
This is also our first editing swing, so. Okay.
So, so yeah, the point was that there's a big fight last and first at an assembly.
Yes.
Yes.
And that is the point of the movie.
Not in that order.
Well, it gets everybody together. We get to see all the characters finally actually do something, which is really fun and cool. And you see them bounce off of each other and play. And
I would argue that the third, like, well, I guess this would go under, assemble, but the dialogue between characters, like we all like eventually when we get to Infinity War, like people kind of always thought like, I wonder how Iron Man and Star-Lord will talk to each other, you know? Because that's...
I mean, we've been waiting for that with Captain America and Thor and Tony Stark. At this point, we've already seen them all, and you're like, they're all going to be in one movie? It's going to be crazy. It was actually crazy at the time. It was a little bit of an event.
Like, the thing is, at this point, a cinematic universe is so common, but it's only been executed correctly once.
Agreed.
Like
to talk about execution, as a slight segue, I want to talk about our two characters that got a lot of emphasis in this movie. For me, I think those characters are Tony Stark and Bruce Banner. Now, Tony Stark, of course, he kind of runs the whole show with all the good lines and all the funny bits, and kind of drives the plot.
Do you mean the movie proper or the MCU as a whole?
Avengers.
In this
movie in particular, Tony Stark's character is under heavy review.
Well, the thing is, like
there's two main scenes that really focus on that.
Next to Black Widow and Hawkeye, I think Captain America kind of gets the short end of the stick. Maybe.
Yeah, I mean,
because like Thor has a direct tie to Loki, you know, and like you said, you got Tony Stark and Bruce, who are the science boys. So
yeah, there's plenty of characters who like this has the large ensemble problem, but it doesn't really run into it too hard.
Yeah,
where nobody gets the proper attention.
Yeah, like we're going to compare a lot. If you haven't noticed by this point, we compare the Marvel movies to a lot of other Marvel movies. More specifically me. But they do parallel each other. So, with Infinity War, which has substantially more characters, it balances that very well, even though in that movie, definitely Captain America gets the short end of the stick.
Well, that movie we'll definitely talk more about later, but it uses the past movies in the phase to make sense out of it. If you watched it by itself, it would make almost none sense.
I guess.
But this one totally can stand alone, because you see Captain America having that fanboy conversation with Coulson.
You see him he's having flashbacks in the punching bags. Punching sandbags.
Iron Man's in the suit, does the thing. You see him take it on and off. You see Thor fly in, talk about his relationship with Loki in that movie. You see the Hulk pretty much for the first new time.
Yeah.
Like, everybody's pretty much reintroduced in the movie.
Yeah, and with Bruce Banner, like, say you're an alien and you understand English and you watch movies. Like, if you had never seen the Hulk in any capacity, this would have worked, for the most part, as a, what's his deal?
And, as a matter of fact, I didn't even remember
you told me
the Incredible Hulk by the time I had watched the Avengers. I didn't even remember it at all.
Yeah, most people didn't. Most people didn't even know that was part of the MCU.
So I wanted to talk about the character development a little bit and just say that Tony Stark's character, they had a big argument through Loki's magic, right? That the captain is saying, without the suit, what are you? And he has this really funny quip
billionaire,
back.
playboy, philanthropist.
And he's like, well, you're always there with the line, you never actually dedicate yourself, you never would be willing to sacrifice yourself for others. It's like, you'd never lay on the wire and have somebody crawl over you. And he said, I would cut the wire. He's like, there you go with excuses. And then they cut later, and the exact event happens with the nuke coming in, and he does do the sacrificial thing.
Which they completely forget about in Civil War.
They really gloss over this stuff.
Later. Right now, we don't know where they're going, technically.
But that was a huge character arc. And then the other one was Bruce Banner's, I thought, because we get to see him interact. Tony Stark is really interested in him, and why doesn't he just turn whenever bad things happen?
Oh, yeah, and you said during the movie that you recalled yourself watching this for the first time thinking, why isn't the Hulk Edward Norton?
Yeah, by the time he's like...
Which, how would you even know who...
Oh, I knew who he was. I liked Edward Norton. He's a good actor.
Okay.
But I didn't remember the old movie because it was very forgettable.
Yes.
But...
What happened in that movie?
No one knows. Well, they did reference it in the movie. They did talk about the events in New York.
Him tearing up Harlem.
Harlem, yeah. And...
Which Luke Cage is where? Is.
That's true. Did they connect that in the show? I haven't seen it.
No. They do bring up Hammer Industries in that show.
Oh, that's fun.
Like, but that's in the bad half of the season. In that show, they literally kill, like, spoilers.
Okay, let's just kill that out. Let's not talk about the spoilers.
I'm sorry.
It's
canceled. It doesn't matter.
Any other good character thing? I know Captain America did not get a lot of time.
Yeah, good characters.
But he has a very static character. That's kind of his whole appeal, is that he's just flat out a good guy.
Yeah.
His lack of references were funny. That was fun.
Yeah. Like, the thing is, this movie is very hard to deconstruct because it's a good movie. Like, it's hard to pick apart a good movie. And when you do pick apart a good movie, it's nitpicks when you really think about it.
And we will definitely get to those. I have a couple of nitpicks.
One day.
No, there were some we were shouting at the screen.
Yes.
We were like, what's going on here? But
yeah.
I think before that, you should always talk about the cool stuff so it lightens the blow. It's like a sandwich, they always say.
Yes, and the sandwiches are terrible. Rating of it.
Yeah, I always want the meat to be the grossest part of my sandwich and the bread to be delicious.
At least it's toasted.
If I had to pick something that was bad in a sandwich, wouldn't I pick the bread? Or would I pick the...
Guy Fieri, what's your opinion on this?
I think as long as there's barbecue sauce.
As long as the bread is barbecue sauce, I'm good with it.
Just like solidified barbecue.
Frozen barbecue sauce. Barbecue sickle.
Go ahead and talk about the cool stuff. What was cool in the movie?
Well, I really liked when Loki took down went to get the guy's eye at that party, and he goes out there, and there's the old guy saying, "There will always be men like you." You know, like, that was a very nice line. And they're in Germany, so
That guy probably was...
He might... We can't say probably, but it's not impossible.
He's likely alive during the time of Captain America's events.
It's definitely not impossible. He could be Magneto.
That is also possible.
I really want them to loop that Captain America and X-Men in one day.
And just say it was always there. And
No, like he raids an internment camp or something, and he's already separated from the mother, but that's not the point.
Pats the kid on the head, and it's Magneto.
Good boy, Magnet Man.
He bends them. No.
Okay, anyway. That's why the shield always jumps.
No, it goes back because of Magneto.
Yes, so that was a cool scene, and in the same scene where Iron Man comes in blaring Black Sabbath, or AC/DC, that's what it is. He wore the Black Sabbath t-shirt, which my mother pointed out.
The whole movie, too. I mean, I know the time hasn't gone by, but...
Yeah, he's
only there for like a day, right?
No one showers, no one goes to the bathroom.
Well, no one ever goes to the bathroom in movies unless it's important.
I disagree.
Just saying.
There are many comedies in which that happens.
It's a comedy. It's important to the... Anyway.
Yeah.
Just saying.
So, how about you give us a scene? What was the scene you enjoyed?
There were plenty of really cool scenes. I think...
Well, you heard it here first, folks.
Cool stuff scenes here. I think when the Hulk transforms and is racing through the ship...
Yeah, just...
Like, that moment is iconic, but it's also iconic for a reason. It's, like, really cool to see his face just go through those metal beams, and they just, like, melt around him because he's running so fast. They're not actually...
Not melting, but,
just,
like...
They just split, like, hair would be pulled apart. Nope, that's a terrible... They break...
They break like duct tape when you cut it with a knife.
It's like butter... That's
it's
warm.
It's like cutting a cold butter with knife.
Yeah, we did it. So That scene is really great, and he just like backhands her.
And if you can't tell what we're talking about when Hulk's chasing Black Widow.
Yeah, and he just backhands her instead of like
That's another
punching, which he never does. He never backhands. He always punches. Well, I guess he kind of does.
I don't think he ever.
He does one of these
the
like
only time
pancake flip thing on a building later, and he like hits with the back of his fist once.
It's more like
that's about it.
He's rolling into a. This is a visual thing I'm doing right now, so it doesn't help you, the audience, if there is one.
I'm editing that part out.
We're getting paid either. We're getting paid either way.
That's how we make the big bucks.
That's how we make the big pennies.
Very large. Very, very large.
Batman-sized pennies. Anyway.
The size of Batman?
No, he has a giant penny in his
Talking about Lego Batman?
No, we're talking about actual Batman
Actual
from the
Batman
comics.
Has a giant penny?
Yes, we're not editing this out now.
What the heck? Tell me more about this.
Later. So, yeah. Another cool scene is that... I don't know, I like little moments, but I'm not gonna... Like, I like when Black Widow is playing coy with Loki. Trying to get her to convince him... Not convince him, but divulge information from him. And, that's... And she's like, oh, I'm just a helpless little girl. Man, I'm so scared of you. And, and Tom Hiddleston is doing a very good being a Shakespearean actor right now. Because he's saying very Shakespearean things. So I really like that scene, and yeah.
All right.
Do you have one?
Oh yeah.
Let's keep going back and forth for 10 minutes.
The whole thing is one of my favorite moments is Thor races in, lands on the plane, rips Loki out, and goes down to a park to have a talk.
Oh yes,
that whole scene was great. It shows how much higher beings they are than Earth. They're like, hey, we're just here. I don't care what you guys are doing. We're getting out of here. I'm gonna have a talk with him. Then we're going home. That was Thor's plan.
Did they evolve on Asgard from fish to? That was so stupid.
That's great.
Oh my gosh.
Oh man.
You know what I mean, right? Did they evolve into magic beings?
Well, they have those animals, the Bengal snipes. Nope.
Bilge snipes.
Bilge snipes.
Very different word.
Bengal, bilge. Anyway.
Wait, what was it? The Christingle. The Christingle from what's his name? He's that comedian. No More Jobs.
Oh, wow.
I was listening to that the other day.
No more jobs. That guy is so funny. What is his name?
James Acaster. Listen to him.
I highly
He's
recommend
funny.
that guy. Wow.
Yeah,
funny.
very funny.
Just falling asleep. No more jobs.
Okay. Sorry for those of you who didn't understand.
But you should watch it and then you will.
But yeah. So, what was I saying?
So that scene in the park was delightful. It does so many things.
It
shows the Asgardian universe that they don't care about Earth yet.
I was going to say that... Sorry, continue.
That, he still cares for Loki, and Loki's kind of lost it. He's a little too far gone. And then it's delightfully interrupted by Thor tackling clearly the wrong person.
Yeah, he should be grabbing...
He should have grabbed Loki and just flown off the end.
I know, it makes no sense.
But it all worked
then
out.
He could have wrestled away. No, he wanted to be captured. He wouldn't wrestle away.
And also, Thor can fly. Iron Man can fly.
Captain America
has a parachute.
Which is similar to flying.
But who knows how far away they went? Did they just go straight down to the ground, or did they fly off in an area? Parachute was a terrible idea. That aside, he comes in with a plan and actually cleans up Loki and
I'm
gets
sure
him back in.
I'm sure it was a
stuff.
hang glider.
Hang glider. So
yes.
Which we're going to say that a million times
I
now.
really hope
We've
so.
ruined it for ourselves.
Yeah.
So that fight was really cool. The doth mother know that thou wearest her drapes?
Yes.
Was a delight.
Wait, is mother wearing her drapes?
Doth
Doth mother know you weareth her drapes?
Yeah, something like that.
It's what I said, Ben.
And then you want me to bring my hammer down? That was great.
And then apparently... vibranium is strong enough to handle against Mjolnir.
Well, it's magic versus...
Wait a minute, did that mean Black Panther can withstand the power
without end.
Yes.
So,
but we'll never know because that thing's destroyed.
So why isn't why aren't all hammers
made from
vibranium?
Hammers? Vibranium?
Why isn't... So could We'll talk about that later. Just saying that scene was really, really cool. And it was one of the best moments. I just wish it was better lit. I felt like I was kind of being cheated out of a scene, but
yeah, it was.
They spent all their money on the New York fight.
It had to be dark because Thor 1 was dark.
Well, Thor 1 was dark. Iron Man 2 was dark in a forest. I felt like I was watching the Iron Man 2 boss fight.
Well, that was not a boss fight. That was terrible. My board. I want my board. Okay, let's continue.
I'll never say board right.
Board.
But I think that scene was the reason I like Avengers. Later on, when they're arguing back and forth, I don't care about that. I understood that reference and things like that. It got me thinking.
Well, I mean, those are iconic memes.
Well, now, but they were great lines.
Oh,
then.
Ben, you misunderstood. No. Those things can still be found today.
I know, I'm just saying.
I remember we're going on a meme tangent now from me, but I remember coming out of Ant-Man and eventually being online and there being Baskin Robbins always finds out memes. I remember that for a while.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
There's a bunch of...
And then there was
all the good lines get looped in to pop culture for a very long time. I tried shawarma because of Avengers.
And then in Age of Ultron, you got language. In that, Tony says a swear.
Oh,
and then
language. I still use that.
It's so great.
And that does a lot.
That
movie's better at the Captain America character than this one is.
Yeah.
But his suit is also better, so that's probably why.
Well, that's also because in that one they're setting up Civil War a little bit.
That's true.
But yeah, in the realm of quips, I guess, and how these movies are kind of being associated with being kind of lighthearted-ish, jokey fun. They're very much associated with that when you think Marvel. You think fun for the whole family.
Yes. Although my 3-year-old son came in the middle.
Yeah,
he was very, very concerned about the cars in New York.
Yes.
What happened to the cars?
Yeah, every time a car was being smashed, he said it 10 times, if not more. I thought
he was gonna cry.
Yeah, he was.
He's okay though. He did not cry. I told him it would be okay and that they would get new cars.
Yes.
So let's get to the nitpick camp of the movies. I think the elephant, the Hulk in the room has got to be Hulk's powers and what the heck. But let's go to other things first and kind of get those figured out, because the movie's not perfect. It does some things that are a little cheese.
Oh, I'll say this. I agree. No movie's perfect, but it's also I remember coming out. We just finished watching this movie, and I'm I have little to no problems with it.
Oh, agreed.
I remember coming out of more recently. I say recently, it was 2017. When I came out of Thor Ragnarok, I literally thought off the top of my head, I had no problems with the movie at all. But yeah, that's just the way I see it. If the movie can distract me from what little problems it has, it might as well be a 10.
Wow.
I'm not saying this movie...
No, I'm not saying it's perfect either. That's high praise.
Yes.
So, nitpicks for me. I have to say, the Chinchilla Army... What is it actually?
Can we get art of the Chinchilla Army? It doesn't have to be Marvel related. It could be it could be Lord of the Rings... the Ghost Army, but with
chinchillas.
But with chinchillas.
Yeah. Chinchillas are pretty big, actually. I was looking into getting one as a pet once.
Yeah,
and that was a needless
They're
Google
they're
session.
the size of dogs.
They're the size of a man. And that's why they're in this army. So
They ride on them into battle.
the chinchilla army has a power source and they all just die?
Well, my theory is that